Like we had lunch with Dr. Mike a while back, and he was telling us, he always mentions the clinical office, and he sees couples all the time. That's what he does, and he's really good at what he does. He told us that the two top issues that he runs into that destroy marriages are pornography, which you can totally understand, and
Okay, Dr. Mike, he went there. He's talking flirting.
Yeah.
And so that is some great insight to ask yourself some of those questions.
When he first asked the question, is it okay to flirt? I thought to myself, okay, Dr. Mike, this is a no-brainer. Of course it's not okay to flirt. Like, seriously. But then when he mentioned how Jesus brought the bar really high for marriage, that you have to really watch even how you think in your mind, not just how you act. It could be that maybe we do need to kind of take stock here and say, okay, let's take a breath, take a pause, and say, let's evaluate how we act around people. Really. Yeah.
Our motives. So that becomes the challenge because, as you said, you think, oh, it's just innocent. Maybe things kind of start out that way, and whether it's, on Facebook or whatever, and commenting. And then there's some back and forth, and then there's kind of a secrecy thing that happens.
Dr. Mike, we had lunch with Dr. Mike a while back, and he was telling us, he always mentions the clinical office, and he sees couples all the time. That's what he does, and he's really good at what he does. He told us that the two top issues that he runs into that destroy marriages are pornography, which you can totally understand, and Facebook. Facebook, which really shocked us too. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with Facebook, but it's how you use Facebook. And
it's so easy to start flirting, flirting with someone and secret. And there was a story of a guy who came up to me and he was saying, he was just crying and he was broken. He said, my wife just left me. We have a small child. Oh my goodness, what happened? And he said, well, she reconnected with this old high school flame on Facebook. Wow. And they started going back and forth. I had no idea what was going on, and then before you know it, they decided to meet up and had an affair, and so it was devastating for him. But something as innocent as starting out on Facebook, but it was that flirting thing.
It's the flirting. It's so easy to cross that line without realizing it. So I mean, of course, I think all of us would agree. The answer is it's a no-brainer. Of course, it's not okay to flirt.
That's right. Yeah. In my notes, I have the topic: is it okay to flirt? I have nope, not healthy. Keep your attention on your spouse. That's what I have.
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
But sometimes people can justify it if they feel like their needs aren't getting met.
Right.
Yeah.
So maybe I don't feel emotionally connected to Eric right now, but now all of a sudden, so innocently, I'm messaging someone on Facebook, Instagram, or talking to them wherever that may be, and so then it starts to lead you down this path that it might have started out with, my needs aren't being met, and now all of a sudden it turned into this thing. But really you need to refocus, like you were saying, and say, how is our marriage? How are we doing? Maybe we need a checkup.
When you keep your spouse at front of mind, when your spouse is always first, that will block some of those things. Like for me, even when I don't even like having a conversation with another guy, like honestly, and I know for Michael, even on his phone, he don't like to keep ladies' phone numbers in his phone because he's like, go through my wife. He'll always give people my number. I'm like, why are you giving them my number? Because they need to contact you because they want me to do this, right?
I like that.
When you have your spouse first, it cuts out some of this other stuff, and then you don't have to have these issues come up.
Even our good friends, right? Good friends of ours, right? They'll have Diane's number. If it's the girl, they'll have Diane's number, and so it's important that way. And social media is a different age, and that's why I'm not on Facebook, honey. But I sort of come at it from a little bit different angle, being in sport and pro sport, and kind of being in that dynamic, and three things that I always try to do. Number one is reference Diane affectionately at some point in the conversation, because people come up to you and they're girls, they're fans of football, and so you need to be kind and talk and engage. But if you can feel it, right? If you feel it, I reference Diane, right? Then the second thing then is there are times where, you know, when you feel it, then you actually make sure you control the dialogue. Right? Okay? Because there's a direction that it can go. They've already put the feeler out. There's a direction this is go. Now you control the dialogue. If you can't control the dialogue, leave.
Get out.
Yeah, that's it. So really, refer to your bride, right? Then control the dialogue, and then if that doesn't work, you leave. Period. That's just easy.
And I love that, and I love the point that Kara brought up too. Sometimes if you're in your marriage and you're going through a dry patch, or you know, we all get busy, and you feel a disconnect from your spouse, but say there's a girl that you work with in the office, or woman you work with in the office, and she's meeting that need, you know, to touch base, you know, talking about your day or giving you that honor and respect that you're not getting at home, and because of just whatever life is happening, you've got to be careful that you don't take that down that road, because to the flirting, to the what that leads to. Because, you know, this is a commitment. This is a covenant you've made, no matter what the emotions are happening, no matter what is happening at home. And so say he's not meeting those needs right now, but that's okay. You need to take stock and then maybe just go to your spouse and say, honey, I'm feeling disconnected from you right now. Can we sit down and see how we can make that connection come back? Because it's so easy for temptation to take you away from your spouse if there isn't those needs being met.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's good. So just examine your motives, examine the health of your own relationship, and see if you're trying to substitute what's missing there with someone else.
And take it to God. Take it to God. Bring God in the mix. If you're really having some battles here, you say, okay, God, this is not going in a direction that you and I are pleased with. You know, so help me to take a breath, press pause, and say, okay, no, I got to turn back from this road. That's going that way, and go back to this direction.
And
maybe,
if I can, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, maybe being self-aware. Maybe you know you are more on the flirty type, putting in those extra boundaries, even though people might be like, well, why are you putting in all of these boundaries? Well, this is worth it.
That's right.
This is worth the boundaries of not saving women's phone numbers in your phone, or if you're going to message the opposite sex, make sure you're both in the message. Or if you have to meet with somebody, we're both pastors, so meeting with people happens all the time, and we've made sure that either we know about it, it's in a very public place, or we're always together, because then we can do it together.
Even position Kara in between me and that woman, and that means I have to talk through Kara to her. And it's just I have what's dearest to me closer to me.
That's good. That's really good.
And I just wanted to translate your comments, and for men, right? So careful to men means committed. So ladies can be careful. Guys, you need to be committed. You need to understand that we are committed to our relationship, because guys can't be careful, right? You go in there and you get in that. I've seen it too many times. You can't be careful. You got to be committed, right? And so ladies careful, guys committed. Right?
Okay.
That's good stuff.
All right, and with that, we will move on, because coming up is going to be just the girls talking in the segment called Just Us Girls.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about some really deep, good stuff, so make sure you stay with us.
We're going to listen in.
You're going to listen in, it's okay. You can.
No one in my family knew, no one. And it's something that I kept as a secret for so many years, right? And it was a lot of shame.